Hello everyone and welcome to this explainer. Let's just take a quick moment to settle in together, right here, right now. If you're joining us today, chances are pretty high that you're looking for a sense of stability, a real way to anchor yourself. At Pratimoksha, which we are just incredibly proud to say has grown into the premier yoga studio right here in Dubai, this is literally a conversation we have every single day. So today, we're going to be exploring our core teachings on finding ground when the ground beneath you just feels totally unsteady. My goal is to walk you through our internal philosophy, sharing the specific, actionable ways we help our community cultivate a calm, expert presence. We want to make these concepts crystal clear so you can actually start applying them today. So get comfortable and let's dive right in.
I want you to be totally honest with yourself for a second. Do you feel a low hum of unease just beneath the surface of your normal day? Think about it. You get through your work, you crush your intense meetings, you sit through that long commute down Sheikh Zayed Road, you get to your evenings, and yet something just feels kinda off-kilter. It's probably not dramatic enough to call a full-blown crisis, but you definitely feel unsettled. Well, in our experience working with high-performing professionals across Dubai, this fast-paced, performance-driven reality we live in makes this feeling incredibly common. Seriously, you are absolutely not alone in feeling this way.
Section 1. The background hum of unease. Validating your experience in Dubai.
So here's the thing. When we face concrete difficulties, our minds can usually step up and problem solve. But uncertainty, whether it's professional, economic, or personal, uncertainty just has a totally different quality to it. When situations are unclear, your mind just keeps running without any resolution. And let me tell you, it is exhausting. You end up endlessly rehearsing scenarios, second-guessing decisions, and anticipating outcomes that honestly might never even happen. And we see the hard impact of this in the data. Look at the 2024 UAE Mental Health Report. It showed a marked, undeniable increase in anxiety disorders among working-age adults. The main culprits? Uncertainty about employment and financial stability. In a city like ours, where so much of our personal identity is tied up in progress and performance, that kind of uncertainty is wildly destabilizing. I'm sharing this number with you just to prove that this feeling is a collective reality. It is a documented societal shift. It is absolutely not a personal failing on your part.
Section 2. Cultivating steadiness and ease. Redefining grounding.
Now, out in the general wellness world, grounding gets thrown around a lot. It's become a bit of a trendy buzzword, right? But our founder, Lalitha Viswanath, who brings nearly 2 decades of yoga teaching experience to our studio, she always reminds us of this one fundamental truth. Grounding is not a personality trait. It is a capacity that can be developed. At Pratimoksha, our foundational philosophy moves way beyond those wellness buzzwords. We treat grounding as a deliberate, ongoing practice. It's not just a magical state you arrive at and then get to keep forever without any effort. It's something you must consciously return to again and again. Some people aren't just naturally born with it, while the rest of us miss out. It's a skill. And frankly, it's a skill that becomes genuinely, absolutely essential when the external circumstances of your life are up in the air.
To really grasp how we build this capacity, we look to the classical yogic framework. The concept most closely tied to this quality is sthira, which translates to steadiness, and it's usually paired with sukha, meaning ease. As we often teach at Pratimoksha, sthira is definitely not about forcing yourself to be perfectly calm. It's absolutely not about being rigid either. Instead, it's about cultivating a stable, responsive quality of presence. It is the exact kind of presence that allows you to stay oriented and clear-headed, even when the whole world seems to be spinning out of control around you.
Section 3. 3 domains of grounding. Breath, body, and attention.
So grounding isn't this vague, floaty idea. It is deeply physiological. We focus on 3 actionable pathways to presence. First up is the breath, which is almost always the fastest route right into your nervous system. Second is the body, where we utilize rest not as a way to avoid things, but as active recovery. And third is attention, which is all about interrupting that endless, exhausting mental loop we talked about a minute ago. Let's break each of these down so you can see exactly how they actively relieve that chronic, low-level activation behind your unease. Okay, we'll start with the breath. When you're operating with that background hum of anxiety, your breath physically shortens, right? It rides high up into your chest. So here's a super simple tool we use constantly at the studio, the 2-1 breathing technique. It's exactly what it sounds like. You simply inhale naturally, and then you purposefully extend the exhale so it's roughly twice the length of your inhale. That's it. Repeat that for 5 to 10 cycles. And why does this work so well? Because lengthening your exhale directly signals your parasympathetic nervous system to engage. It tells your body it's safe.
This isn't just a nice metaphor, it's hard physiology. It shifts your body's stress response in literally just a few undisturbed minutes. Our second domain is the body. This is where we treat rust as active recovery. We love using restorative postures. Think of a fully supported child's pose, or even just lying on the floor with your legs resting up the wall. When your body is completely supported like that and zero muscular effort is required from you, your proprioceptive system actually gets a chance to recalibrate. Basically, your nervous system finally stops scanning the room looking for a threat. It shifts the entire quality of your nervous system within minutes. Again, this isn't resting because you're avoiding your work. This is a highly effective, deeply active form of recovery.
The third domain is attention. A truly fantastic tool here is walking meditation. The practice just involves slowing your pace way down and placing your full, undivided attention on the physical sensation of each step. Notice the contact of your foot on the ground, feel the transfer of your weight. For all of our Dubai residents out there who spend 8, maybe 10 hours a day just staring at a glowing screen, this is the perfect way to interrupt those mental stress loops. It pulls your attention right back to the present moment. Best of all, you don't need any special equipment or even a studio to do it. You literally just need to walk with intention.
Section 4. Regularity over intense practice. Building a resilient nervous system.
Now, this is a really important one. This is how you actually build a resilient nervous system over the long term. It's a crucial teaching that shifts the way most people think about wellness. Lalitha Viswanath returns to this principle constantly. A steady, modest, 10-minute daily practice will always, and I mean always, outperform an intense but sporadic hour-long session you only do once a week. Why? Because your nervous system learns through repetition. A short, daily breathing practice builds something qualitatively different over time. Grounding only becomes a reliable resource you can tap into during a stressful meeting if it has already become second nature through that daily repetition.
And that leads directly into our overarching philosophy of care. The ultimate goal of yoga therapy at Pratimoksha is not to eliminate discomfort. Actually, scratch that. It's more about developing the internal resources to carry that discomfort without being totally defined by it. We don't look at anxiety as a malfunction that needs to be fixed. Life in a busy, thriving city is always going to have friction, for sure. Our goal is simply to build up your internal capacity so that you can remain functional, present, and totally steady even when things get immensely difficult. That distinction, it truly matters.
Section 5. Beginning where you are. Your invitation to practice.
Listen, if the ground feels a bit less solid than you'd like right now, please don't wait for the conditions of your life to magically improve before you start working on this. The practice itself is exactly what helps you stop waiting. We would absolutely love for you to experience Pratimoksha firsthand to help you build that foundation. We welcome practitioners into our Udmatha studio every single day with a steady, warm, supportive approach. We offer individual sessions that are perfectly tailored to whatever your unique starting point is. We have incredible classes that beautifully weave together the physical poses with the breath work and restorative elements we explored today. And hey, if you just want to dip your toes in, we offer a quiet, entirely no-pressure trial session. We really just want to meet you exactly where you are.
To wrap up this explainer, I want to leave you with this final, truly powerful thought from our founder, Lalitha Viswanath. Steadiness is not something you find when life becomes easier. It is something you build so that you can tap into it when life feels heavy, chaotic, and uncertain. So, what does this all mean for you? I hope you're walking away knowing that you have the power to build that steadiness, starting right now with your very next breath. Thank you so much for joining us, and we really hope to welcome you to the studio soon.